Hey guys, RC here, back with the next edition of our Let's Play for WMMA4 World of Mixed Martial Arts. We're playing as the #2 organization in the world, Gamma, and we're getting very, very close to our first card, Gamma 40 Foster versus Kippur. And looking forward to seeing how the card goes, how much money I make, and then I can start uh, planning out the rest of the year, whether I can do monthly or bi-weekly events, because I think my goal would be to eventually do our pay-per-view events once a month, just like UFC does, and then do the television events maybe every 3 weeks or every 6 weeks. Not sure which, but maybe like kind of in between each pay-per-view. If we can do it every 4 weeks, we could do a pay-per-view at the end of each month, and then around the 15th of the month, we could do a TV event. I don't know, something along those lines. Anyway, we should be able to reach our pay-per-view in this episode. We have no mail, no decisions. We actually have a few prospects that we are doing. We actually added one guy to our short list. That's a prospect that we're going to continue to follow and maybe look at down the road. Not quite as advanced as we had wanted. And I had not looked at the mail last time, so we had another prospect in Damian Jones. He is 70. And nickname Longshore. I have actually fought with this guy. I don't remember where. I've got a couple of other written dynasties that I'm doing. Might be him. Might be one of those. Alright, skills, strong striking, weak wrestling, weak submissions, weak on the ground. So he can't get him to the ground to use his ground striking. So he's basically a puncher. And he's 31. So yeah, not really the guy that I'm looking for. Now, could he be a guy? Maybe I bring him in for my heavyweight division. Let him get a couple of fights, see what he can do, and he may turn out to be one of those punching bags. Maybe we'll do that. I think you only pay the performance scale if they win. So he's a good striker, so he could put on a good fight potentially. But again, he may turn out to be one of those guys that we're just able to, just kind of watch get taken apart. All right, he's 25. I do like that. Reykjavik. I think I pronounced that right. Reykjavik Island. If I pronounced that wrong, my bad. Iceland. It's the capital. I know that. 5-0. Ice cold approach to beating people up. That's awesome. Good striker. Pinpoint accuracy. Good quality sprawl. Freakish ability to get to his feet quickly. Rarely tested. You know what? He's a good-looking kid. He's got some skills. Welterweight. I love the lower weight classes. Let's bring him in. Again, he might be one of those. He might be a guy that will make a couple of fights, and if he loses, we'll let him go, which is fine. All right. Maria. Okay, that's a female fighter. New member to this fight team, Gothenburg Submission Fighting. Canadian small show. Oh, I meant to show you guys something there, but I'll try to remember to do that in my next the next card that pops up like that. All right, we'll sign your deal. We'll sign your deal. All right, these two guys are guys that may or may not pan out. All right, we are Saturday. We are coming up on our card, and here we go. All right, so we're into the card. We don't have any preliminaries, but that's how you switch between the main card and the preliminary card. You can turn off pre-show analysis by clicking on it, and you'll see the red X pop up. When you see those small cards pop up, like the small Mexican and small Canadian shows, they're all X'd out. And so what you can do is if there's a particular fight that you want to see, maybe it's a prospect that you're looking at, maybe it's somebody on your short list, you can unclick the individual fight, and then you'll only see that fight happen. If you don't want to watch the fight, you can click off on these. So like if I don't want to watch that one, I can turn it off. But we're going to watch all of them, at least here on the first card. So again, this gives you your recap of our main event. A reminder that the Gamma heavyweight title's on the line. And we will have the pre-show analysis and the post-show recap on. So we can skip it all. We can watch all. We can watch the main show. Or we can just start. I've never done these. I always just hit start show. And then it's a click fest. All right, so here's the preliminaries. We're in Nevada. Gamma 40 Foster versus Kippur. It's our first show of 2001. James Foster's 35-4 with 1 no decision, 8-0 with Gamma. Rav Kippur is 10-0, 1-0 since joining Gamma. It's for the heavyweight title. Also on the show, our number 7 welterweight, our number 8 light heavyweight, our number 6 middleweight, and our number 13 middleweight. So next. This is Foster's 7th defense of the heavyweight title. If successful, it would set a new record for the belt. He is main eventing a Gamma show for the 8th time in his career. He's finished 3 of his last 5 opponents. This is the first time they have fought. Kippur has a significant weight advantage, and Foster is a big favorite to win. Blurcat is the AI for the game. So they're 7-0 in picking the champ to retain his title. All right, here's our number 2 card, our undercard, Buddy Garner and J.J. Reed. And you can read through that. Mad Dog Gabriel Gallego and the showstopper Jack Humphreys. Actually split cards, Humphreys on 5, Gallego on 2 cards. Large margin for Latusier to win, 7-0 on the experts, and 7-0 for Adam White over Ashley Ballard. And you can read through those guys. We've got 8 cards, 8 fights on the card. And that's how the preliminary works. Basically, it's like watching the pre-fight show on Fox Sports or something. All right, so our first, and you can see its main show. If you wanted to watch the preliminary, it would start with the preliminary. Start timer. I wonder, I'm going to try that. Let's see what happens. Okay, so it will actually just walk through. So we'll just watch it. I don't have to click here. All right, Richardson gets a takedown. Delaney's trying to get underhooks. Actually, you know what? Let's stop that because sometimes that goes a little quick, which is fine. Delaney's trying to get in close. Richardson fires off a few punches, but no great force. Delaney's trying to get double underhooks again. Richardson defends it. Richardson's trying to pass guard. and he passes guard and gets side control on Delaney. There's a few punches as Richardson regains his breath. Oh, he's looking for a submission here with an arm triangle. It's in. It's locked. Delaney's in trouble, but he's trying to fight. And he breaks the hold. Oh, maybe not as tight as it looked. Wow, that's crazy. Transition to the guard. Going for an arm triangle again. And that one's locked in for sure. Delaney taps out. And the official results, the Kippur, the Phoenix Richardson, defeats Danger Man Delaney via submission by arm triangle in 4 minutes 2 seconds of round number 1. The match was rated as average. So the favorite won the fight, but pretty good fight. I mean, not bad for the first fight on the card. All right, here's our next fight. Hanley the Great White Poulter, 6'7", 294, out of Sydney, Australia. 5-0, a wrestler, the favorite at -430. Randolph Gilliver, 31 years old, stands 6'5", 284. Shaker Heights, Ohio. 5-2 record, a Greco-Roman wrestler, and a slight underdog at plus 340. There's your judges, your referee, and there's the bell. All right, a couple of early swings, no connections. All right, there's a jab by Poulter. Gilver still looking for the range. A great right hook from Poulter, so he's made a couple of early points. Gilliver cannot find the range with his punches. Poulter's, all right, Gilliver's still missing his punches. They're throwing a lot of punches, just not a lot of connections. All right, Gilliver actually scores with a jab there. Poulter gets a vicious right cross. Oh my gosh, and it's a knockout. One-shot finish for Poulter. Wow. All right, the winner, Hanley, the Great White Poulter, defeats Randolph Gilliver by knockout in 3 minutes and 40 seconds of round number 1. The match was rated as average. So remember, the match rating is going to come into play at the end of the event, which determines how much money we make and popularity gain. Our top 3 fights are judged. So that's where that comes into play. All right, another fight on the undercard, Aaron the Patriot McBroom. It would be better if it was McBoom. 28 years old, 5'8", 155. This is a lightweight fight. I don't remember based on weights. I know a lot of people do, but I don't remember. Fort Lauderdale, Florida. He's a kickboxer out of Halvelson's gym, 11-4, slight underdog. Benny the Jet Denair, 27 years old, 5'10", also weighed in at 155 out of Gracefield, Quebec. A 9-3 pro record, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighter with Team Desire, and he is a favorite at -530. Denair comes in quick looking for a takedown. All right, Denair gets the one leg. He drives McBroom up against the cage. There's a trip, beautiful leg sweep, and he gets side control. All right, Denair begins moving for the mount. McBroom cannot fend him off and gets mounted, so Denair's got top position. Looking for an arm bar. It's in. Oh my gosh, that was a quick fight. McBroom just not anywhere ready for that fight. It did not look like. A quick tap out. Denair just made that one move, got mount, put the arm bar in, and the fight is over. Benny the Jet Denair defeats Aaron the Patriot McBroom via submission by armbar. 1 minute 37 seconds of the first round. The match was rated as good. All right, the next fight on the card, Adam Blitz White and Ashley Tiger Ballard, 26 and 28 years old respectively. Both weigh in at 5'11 and 185. White's out of LA, California. Ballard is out of Houston, Texas. White sports a perfect 11-0 record. He's a wrestler and Jeet Kune Do fighter, and he is a favorite at -400, fighting for Team Evolution MMA. Another fighter out of Halverson's is Ballard. He's a slight underdog at +310. He's a kickboxer with a pro record of 13-1. Kyle Crisp is the referee. There's your judges, and there's the bell. All right, Ballard gets a jab and a right cross, so he makes early contact, finding the range. Some counters from White after a few more punches by Ballard. A jab. There's a body kick to White. Ballard's just landing everything that he's throwing so far. A nice jab, a right hand. There's a flurry of punches. Nothing really major, but a lot of action. White with a couple more counters. Sorry for the pause here, guys. Heard somebody outside. All right, Ballard lands 2 left hands. White dodges the roundhouse body kick. That may have hurt. We're at the halfway point. Ballard comes in quick. There's a counter that doesn't connect. Another missed spin kick combination. All right, we were about to see a shot from White, but Ballard took the initiative. A jab, a big right head kick just misses wide of the mark, and there's the bell, ending first round. Looks like 10-9 in favor of Ballard in that first round, and we're off to round 2 of this 3-round contest. All right, White actually gets the first hit this time. Ballard, a left jab, missed with a big head kick. 2 jabs from White, but no power. A low kick to the legs after a couple of jabs from Ballard. Oh, a nice straight right hand that lands hard. White's able to get in close to Ballard. White's looking for a takedown. He has underhooks. The sweep is successful. Ballard's on the mat, and White is in side control. First time that White's had any advantage in this fight. There's an attempt for the mount. He tries to sweep, but he gets rolled, and Ballard gives up his back. White starts to unload with some big rights and lands a few shots. He's got both hooks in, a really dominant position. He's pounding away, but can't get many clean shots. Ballard's really fending them off. All right, White makes the move for the rear naked choke with both hooks in. And Ballard, boy, he looked really dominant there at the beginning of the fight, but he got flattened out, and there's a submission. The winner, Adam Blitz White, defeats Ashley the Tiger Ballard by submission with a rear naked choke, 3:37 of round 2, and the match was rated as fantastic. So that's good. All right, the next event, Anthony Livewire Letoussier versus Wild Bill Cumming. Letoussier 28, Cumming elderly 37. Both come in at 6'1", both weighed in at 205. Letoussier's out of Santerre, Quebec, 14-2 career record. A kickboxer fighting for Strikeforce, a heavy favorite at -670. Cumming out of Provo, Utah, 29-14. He's a wrestler with no team ties and a heavy underdog at +530. There's the bell. Cumming comes in on the attack. He throws a 1-2. There's a counter jab. Letoussier hits a jab and then a fast high right kick to the side of the head. Cumming steps in to grapple but takes several strikes. He does manage to get control and get Letoussier up against the cage, and he's got him smothered. Short punches for about a minute. We reach the halfway point. Another minute up against the cage with Cumming in dominant position. having Letitia trapped up against the cage. Coming with a stomp. Not much progress though, so the referee stands him out and gets him back to the center of the ring. Some dirty boxing. He's trying to get him up against the cage again, and does. Some more dirty boxing, but Letitia counters with some wrestling to nullify any damage. And that's the end of round one. Not a lot of action. Coming with two, well, it says great round, very exciting, but most of it was up against the cage and not a whole lot happened. I don't know. I think Cumming controlled that round, but looks like the experts are giving it probably a 10-9 round, but that could be a split round. We could see judges going either way. That could lead to a split decision if this goes the distance. All right, round two. Cummings moves in fast, gets him up against the cage again. There's a short left uppercut. That does a little damage. Close quarter punches, some dirty boxing. Really showing good control, keeps him up against the cage. Short punches. Again, the referee restarts him at the center of the ring. All right, trying to get him back up against the cage again, and is successful. There's a sharp right to the ear. Cummings looks for another foot stomp, but that allows Letitia to actually turn the table and get Cummings up against the cage, and that's where the round ends. Looks like Cummings had the advantage, that one up against the cage again. That's what I thought in the first round, but we'll see. So this could be Cummings' advantage, two rounds to none. That first round, maybe we're still split one each, and could make it anybody's fight, or Letitia might need a finish here. We go to the third round. A left hand. Oh, Letitia, a left jab, and then a crunching straight right to the jaw. Cummings is down. Letitia starts pounding away. There's some big rights. Cummings is getting rocked. Letitia transitions to an arm triangle, and there it is. It's deep, but he's trying to fight it off. He does break it. He does break it, so we've seen that happen twice. Cummings is looking for a guard. Can't manage it. Letitia still in control. Side control, looking for mount. Cummings fights off the mount. All right, Letitia is now looking for a Kimura, and there it is. So the second submission attempt locks it in towards the end of the third round, so he actually got the submission and the finish. We weren't sure how that first round was going to come out, but now it doesn't matter. Let's see. So in the post-fight interview, Letitia calls out Junior Pottenkin. Of course, he was the main event in our next event, but he got hurt. So he's going to be out for a little while, but that may be down the road. Let's see. In fact, what I want to do here is I want to make a note of that. I'm going to take a picture and then add that in later. Into my notepad, and I'll show you guys how that works. All right, so the official result: Anthony Livewire Letitia defeats Wild Bill Cumming via submission by Kimura. 4 minutes 5 seconds of round number 3. The match was rated as decent. A lot of standing against the cage. They did not like that very much. All right, here's the next match. Mad Dog Gabriel Gallego faces the showstopper Jack Humphreys. 31 years old. And I tell you what, guys, I'm reading these off. You guys can read it just as easily as I can. If you do watch this, give me some feedback in the comments below the video. Let me know, do you just want me to scroll through the screens? Do you like hearing me talk about the fight? You know, whatever. And, you know, that could change how I do things. So let me know. Anyway, Gallego's 31, fighting out of Buenos Aires, Argentina. He's a Muay Thai specialist with a 19-4 pro record, And a slight underdog at minus 190. Jack Humphreys is 32 out of Mobile, Alabama. He's a wrestler with a 25-9 record, and he's a slight favorite at minus 250. They both weigh in at 170. Humphreys has a slight height advantage and a reach of 3 inches longer, 74 to 71. I did not realize you could mouse over on that. That's cool. Just learned that. So I tell you what, I'm going to do this match the way I was just talking about. I'm just going to like scroll through it, let you read it. And that way you've got the earlier fights and you'll have this fight that you can compare directly. So no talking from me as we scroll through. All right, there's a takedown. And the end of the first round. Looks like it goes 10-9 to Humphreys, and we're into round number 2. Very similar to that last fight. A lot of time up against the cage, getting moved back out to the center of the round. And you know, the third option is we could just not even go through these individual screens, and we could just go right to the end of the event and just go and look at the review of who won, how they won, how long the fight lasted, things of that nature. When we get to the end, I'll actually show you that screen, but basically we go from the very beginning to the very end, and then we just look at the results. So that's a third option. So again, let me know what you guys are thinking when you see this. All right, so it looks like Humphreys is up 2 rounds to none. Gallego looks like he'll need a finish. Oh, a foot stomp. Another foot stomp. And there's the bell. Gallego came out quick, it looked like, but boy, Humphreys just completely shut him down. So, all right, we're going to the scorecards. 30 to 27, 30-27, and 29-28 for the winner. The showstopper, Jack Humphreys, by unanimous decision. Humphreys looks for Josh Aldericio as the next opponent. And you kind of want to make notes of that because that's, you know, that's who they want to fight, and that'll usually be a good fight when they start calling out. But you want to make sure it makes sense for your organization too. And it was average. And I tell you what, just so you can have, unfortunately it's going to be the 2 main events, but let's skip to the end, and that's basically what happens. We would see it went all 3 rounds, unanimous decision. I can back up a little bit. All right, so there's the scores: 30-27, 29-28, 30-27. Buddy Garner, the unanimous decision over the amazing J.J. Reed. And a decent match. So that's kind of how that works. All right, main event of the evening, the king of ground and pound, James Foster, squares off with the Beast of Birmingham, Rav Kippur. That's an awesome name. The Gamma Heavyweight Division for the Gamma Heavyweight Championship of the World. 34-year-old champion, 28-year-old challenger. The challenger has a height advantage of 2 inches, has a reach advantage of 3 inches, and a pretty significant weight advantage as well, 265 to 222. Foster is a wrestler out of Halverson's gym, fighting by way of Aurora, Illinois. A record of 35-4 with 1 no decision. Pretty heavy favorite. Rav Kippur is a kickboxer out of London Kickboxing Academy. He's got an undefeated pro record of 10-0, and he is a slight underdog. He is actually ranked the number 4 heavyweight in Gamma, the number 15 heavyweight in the world. Foster is the number 1 heavyweight in the world and the number 4 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. And again, just so you guys, since this is our first card, I kind of want to show all the options. So we'll step back there, and we can swing back a little bit. All right, so early in the 4th round, they square off in the center of the ring. He steps in, he grabs Kippur, he gets his underhooks, goes for the takedown, and with a Greco-Roman slam he does, but he can pull guard. Foster successfully keeps Kippur stuck against the ground. In guard, Foster begins working to pass to side control, and he does. He pounds away, not too many clean shots, and he blocks Kippur as he tries to transition back to guard. Foster slows down a little bit, catches his breath. Foster maintains defensive position, and then he goes for the mount and gets it. He starts unloading with right hands. Kippur deals with most of them early on, but he keeps at it, and Kippur is unable to hold up the defense. And it looks like he was knocked out. The referee jumped in. It's his 7th defense of the Gamma Heavyweight title. As we saw in the fight preview, that is a new record for most title defenses for the heavyweight belt. Knockout by punch at 3:33 of round 4, and it was rated as being decent. So, not good. All right, so here is our card. All right, this is the other option, a 4th option, if you will. We can come right to here, and then we can just look at the results, and then, we can look at a kind of a post-fight recap if you want, and that's what those recaps look like. It gives the match rating and everything else. So let's see, we had 3 first-round finishes, a second-round finish, a third-round finish, 2 unanimous decisions, and then a 4th-round knockout. So a lot of finishes in this fight. All right, here's kind of our report card. So we had 4,383 people show up, so we made $711,141 at the gate. We had a critical rating of 71%. And again, that's taken by your 3 most highly rated fights on the main card. So even if it's not your top 3 here, if one of these jumps out, and we did have one, it was fantastic right there. So that was one of our 3 fights right there. And that was good. So those offset the decent and the decent main event fights. So that's what pulled us up, even though they were lower on the card. But they're taken from any fights on the main card, not the preliminaries. Your commercial rating, 95%. And this is the draw of the show, how interested the fans were based on the lineup. Now this is based on the draw of your main event and your co-main event. We'll come back to that in a minute. So you remember when we set this match up and we looked at the initial card. I can't look at it right here. Oh, you can actually look at, if we actually went that route, if we went this route and just looked at the results, we could even go in and look at the fight metrics and look at takedowns, power punches, ground strikes. We can see all, the grade on the fight. But when we were making the fight card, and we put the two fighters in the fight card, and it told us what kind of match it was projecting, that it would be a low-level national fight, and it would make for a good main event. Those are the fights you're going to want to put at the top of your card, and that's what drives your commercial rating. So it's the top two fights. So your main event and your co-main event. Doesn't have to do with the the fight rating in any way. It has to do with the national draw of that fight. And we are a mid-level national. We need to be pulling for a 60% or better commercial rating in order to maintain, and then anything above that we gain. So we actually got a 95 here, which is about as high as you can get, which is a high-level international score. So that means we gained a lot of interest in our organization by this card. Also, it was broadcast on pay-per-view, and we made $5.9 million on pay-per-view. And let's go ahead and close out. And there is that 95 rating. We increased popularity by 4.5% in America because we held the show in Nevada. So, we can actually, even though we may not be as popular around the world, we can still hold events there if we want. Yeah, we'll allow multiple. We'll allow multiple winners. All right, so the fight of the night was Adam White versus Ashley Ballard. The knockout of the night was James Foster knocking out Rav Kippur. And the submission of the night was the rear naked choke by Adam White. Now you can change this when you run the organization. You're the one that, just like Dana White makes the payouts. You can change that if you want. Hey, that armbar was a really great move. This punch was really impressive. That arm triangle broke the guy's arm. That was brutal. I want to, you can change this. You can also not allow multiple winners. So we don't want to allow, we want only one winner for each award. So if I change it, say example there, it changes. If I want to add it though with it checked, it'll actually allow that. So you can do that yourself. It gives you the recommendations, which are already there. And there's your fight of the night bonus. Now, do you want to pay out more? Do you want to pay out less? Certainly up to you. I'm going to stick with $5,000 for right now, and we're going to close that. And once you leave, those are locked in. Money's gone. Now, here's the part I wanted to see. So between our gate, sponsorship money, and pay-per-view income, and merchandise, minus payout to the fighters, drug test cost, and production cost, we made a profit of $6.3 million. All right, so that tells me we're rolling in money. I mean, even Foster only made $119,000 tonight. Gilliver made $960 for getting his brains beat out. Cumming made $1920 for his fight. And keep in mind, these also include the $5,000 fight of the night bonuses. So, where they pay, I think, doesn't UFC pay $50,000 for each or $10,000? That would be significant, monetarily to these guys. All right, and the same night we had our show was BCF Best of the British 3. And this is what I was talking about. If you want to watch something, you can uncheck it. I don't watch other events, so we're going to start that show. It'll just sim it and then finish our day. Same thing here, large show in Britain. Just trying to get to the end of the day here so we can wrap up our video. All right, so let's go to the emails. All right, Aaron McBroom is coming to the end of his contract. Dana Delaney, James Foster, and Cooper Richardson. All right, so let's go through these real quick. Let's look at McBroom. All right, he is coming off a loss at Gamma 40. He had the submission by armbar. He has lost 3 in a row. He is the number 11 lightweight. I tell you what, I don't know that he's going to be very good. Now, he is on a medical suspension for... now, did he get knocked out? I forgot. Submission by armbar. I guess when you tap or get knocked out, your medical suspension is much longer. I'm going to let him go. If we look here, a weak ground game, biggest flaw, was a contender for the lightweight title, but inconsistent since that point. He's above average, but honestly weak or below average in a lot. Now, this would be a guy, do I want to keep him? I wouldn't want him ranked anymore, and eventually he would phase out, but I could have him fight some up-and-comers that I would think could beat him. But do I want to sign him to a new contract? Well, he's looking for $1,600 a fight for 4 fights. I'm not going to guarantee any of your fights, and I'm only going to make this a 3-fight contract. Well, I'm sorry you're not excited with that. If you win, I'll make you. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind, paying if they win. All right, so McBroom is gone. Dana Delaney. All right, he's coming off the loss tonight by submission arm triangle. He's number 13, 11-4, and that was his first fight in Gamma. But he has above average and very strong in a good bit. Still on the mat, very weak. So he's a boxer. Good heart, good marketability. Again, we can negotiate with him. I'm going to offer you $1,300 a fight. I'll give you that. 3 fights. No guarantees. I'll up it to $1,500. Well, he's really being a hard butt there. So now he wants... Well, you know what? I'm going to let you go then. Sorry. All right, James Foster just defended his title. He's 34, but you know what? Yeah, we're going to re-sign him. 5 years, 6 fights, 4 fights guaranteed. $60,000 a fight. I think we can afford that. He doesn't need a performance bonus. Or does he? No, not on pay-per-view. Title bout bonus, title defense bonus, title victory bonus. So he does want... Damn. Jesus. Okay. Wow. Now that's where your negotiation ability as the owner or CEO comes into play during your character creation, is negotiating with them. So he's recuperating for 41 days before he can start training. All right, and Cooper Richardson, he's 14-5. He had the arm triangle win. Number 15, I think he's the up and comer. Now these have gone down. So we're actually, what's happening here that you don't see on the other ones is we're actually dialing in on his actual ratings. So instead of 50 to 80 or 50 to 70, now or 40 to 80, now we're 50 to 60. So physical skills, experience, really no boxing or hitting power. Wrestling, takedowns, takedown defense, ground striking, ground technique, ground control. So he's going to be a submission guy. I like him. We'll bring him back. All right. And I think that's everybody there. So we'll delete that and go back to the news. All right, so Foster defends his title. Okay, so the last Gamma 40 in the ranking system, we have now moved from a low-level to a mid-level national organization. That means that we are now the #1 rated organization in the world. We are mid-level national. They are still low-level national. So that's good news. So that's really good. All right, I think that's it. We're going to go one more day to finish out the month. Let everything kind of process. All right, Bobby Brubaker of Gamma reaches the new #1 ranking in the welterweight class. Lawrence Herringbone, also with Gamma, becomes the #1 ranked light heavyweight. You've got some prospects coming in here. And, you know, so the first of every month is kind of a really long list of stuff. You know, this is when you see your new influx of talent, people turning pro. So these guys are actually 0-0. So these are all very young people that haven't even started fighting. So now this would be a time, especially as a low-end company, to really go through and start looking at these guys, analyzing their skills, and seeing if there's anybody that would be a very good impact for your organization. At the upper end, like with Gamma and Alpha, none of these guys are going to be really great. And you notice some of them don't even have faces. Now he actually looks pretty good. National Caliber Wrestling. I'm going to shortlist him. So, you can always find somebody, but anyway, take that into consideration. Also, now I want to look at our finances. financially we're still number 2, but we have 7.8 million available, and we made a profit of 28.95. Now, I guess I'm a little confused by that. I'm going to have to pose the question, if we just made 6.8 million or whatever in profit on our show, how did we only make a net profit of $2.8 million? Finance. Oh, well, this will explain it. Here we go. All right, so performances. Okay, there's our pay-per-view, sponsorship, gate. Not sure what performance is. This is the 3 that we made off of the event, right? All right, merchandise, miscellaneous income. Okay, I don't know what that is. Okay, we have to pay taxes on that. Okay, duh. The fighters, contracts, drug testing, production, marketing, administration, and miscellaneous events. Huh. All right, well, maybe I don't want to start raising that just yet. All right, we'll delete that. Okay, well, this one has certainly gone on long enough. My apologies for that. This has gone on almost an hour, and that was because of the card. Going forward from here, please let me know in the comments what you guys think about how you want to view the fights. And we may end up having to split the cards into two videos, and even more if we do preliminaries, if we read out the whole fight. You know, going to the end results, that'll be pretty quick, and we can continue to still progress. I think that might be the way to go, but I'm going to leave it up to you guys. Let me know what you think, and we'll move on down that path the next time. So anyway, this has been RC. Thanks for checking out this video, and we'll check you out next time. Take care. Bye.